Alright, so we're going to be finding the orthocenter today. So, when we did the centroid, that was made up of medians. When we did the circumcenter, I think, it was made up of perpendicular bisectors. Today, we're going to be looking at altitudes. An altitude is a perpendicular segment from a vertex to the line containing the opposite side. It does not have to be inside the triangle. Okay, and this is where it gets kind of weird. So, we're going to find an altitude from one of these sides. So what I'm going to do is, let me get my ruler going here. Alright, I am going to take my ruler, and I'm going to just pick a side. And I'm going to pick this side right here. And I'm going to extend the side of this, like this line on this side out, so it's even longer than normal. So I'm going to make it really long. So I think this is pretty good. This ruler is kind of annoying to use, but whatever. So, and make sure you guys are following along doing this too, because this is kind of tricky to find sometimes.
Okay,
So I'm going to draw my line. And all I did so far was I took this side and I extended the line. So I made this side even longer. While you guys are doing, well, I'll give you a minute to finish this off. So, an altitude is going to go from somewhere on this green line I just drew. It's going to be perpendicular to this green line, but it's going to go to the opposite corner. So my altitude is going to make a 90-degree angle with this green line, and it's going to hit the opposite corner. So to make this altitude, let me rotate my ruler here a little bit. I'm going to take my ruler, and mine's kind of annoying because it's on here, but I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to line up the edge exactly with that green line I drew, or your pencil line in your paper. So try to line it up exactly. So this one's close. I think that's got it. So line it up exactly. And after we do this, this means it's perpendicular. So if I look at this angle right here, it's 90 degrees. So mine might not be perfect, but it's close. Yeah, looks a little better. So it's not perfect, but it's close. Okay. An altitude, it's going to make this 90-degree angle right here, and it's going to go through the opposite corner. So it's going to go through this corner right here. So I'm going to take my ruler, and I'm going to make sure it stays matching up with my green line, and then I am going to make the edge of my ruler go through this opposite corner, and then I'm going to draw my line. So this red line, which I forget my ruler always doesn't do this little piece right there.
Oh my gosh.
This red line is an altitude now, because this is 90 degrees right here, and it goes through the opposite side. So I've got one altitude, that's my red line. Just like before, all three altitudes are going to meet in the same place, but I really only need to do two of them, because if I can find two, I know the third one is going to be in the same spot, so we may as well only do two and save time. So I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to find another altitude. So I'm going to pick the bottom side this time. And just to make it so it's a little easier to see, I'm going to erase this first green line I did, just so there's not as much on there. If you use pen or you don't want to erase, that's fine. It just gets a little messy after a while. That's the only reason I'm doing this. So, just like before, I'm going to take my ruler and I'm just going to extend the side out, the side of this triangle out a little longer. Just so it's not so short. Because I don't always have to be inside the triangle when I do it. I just need to use this line I'm drawing right here. Oh, and you know what? Let me make that a different color. Let's see if I can get that green. Rats. Whole thing changed. Oh.
Why didn't you just press back and then do it again? I will.
What's
You know
pretty
what? I'm just
funny?
gonna draw again. Oh, I messed it up. Yeah, we're going with it. We're going with it. It's too much work at this point. Alright. So just like before, I'm going to take my ruler, let me just make it so it's a little easier to use for me. We're going to take our ruler, we're going to take the edge of it, and we're going to match it up with this line we just drew. Because when I match it up like this, the edge and the line we drew will make a 90-degree angle. And it's not going to be perfect, but it should be close. And just like before, I'm going to make sure my ruler stays with this 90-degree angle, so it's going to stay on this line. And I'm going to line the edge up with the opposite corner. And I'm going to draw that line. And this is an altitude now. And my line's really kind of annoying because it doesn't have this piece. So it made a 90-degree angle, and it went through the opposite corner. Mine is just a tad off, but that's okay. Alright, so the first line I drew was this one right here. I'll make it blue, just so it's easier to see. That was the first altitude I drew. The second one is this red one. Where they match is right here. Is where they meet. And if I were to draw a third one, it would go through the same spot. And this point is called the orthocenter. This one is the most annoying one to find, I think. It's not super difficult, it's just kind of annoying. Because when you do it by hand, you got to make sure your ruler stays right, and you can't forget to extend out your side and all that. So.
Wait, what's the point of extending your sides?
I'll show you in just a second. So, after the next slide, I'll show you.
Okay.
That's a good question, Tyler. Good question. So where all three meet is called the orthocenter. So, kind of like the circumcenter, our orthocenter isn't always in the middle of our triangle. So, if I have an acute triangle, my orthocenter is inside. Because that's where these two red lines match up. Or three red lines, excuse me. That's our orthocenter there. If I have a right triangle, it's right on the corner. So it's going to be on the corner here. But if I have an obtuse triangle, my orthocenter is going to be on the outside. And it's going to be outside the biggest angle. So this one won't be inside our triangle all the time. The centroid was always inside, and the circumcenter was on the outside. Oh, the other one. It's made up of... think of it off the top of my head. Oh, well. The other one we did, there's four of them. I cannot collectively remember the name of the other one right now. But that second one we learned was always on the inside. These are not. So we're going to practice finding some more orthocenters. And this is basically all we're doing today. So I'm actually going to start over here so I can answer Tyler's question. I'm going to start over here on this top right triangle. And the steps are exactly the same. Take my ruler, and you know what, to make it a little bit quicker, I'm actually just going to draw some lines. Use a dash line here. Just to make it a little speedier, because the ruler is kind of annoying to use. So I'm going to just make a dash line here, and I extend it out the side. And this one isn't going to be too big a deal, just because this one is going to be normal. Alright, so I extend it out the side. Now I'm going to take my ruler, make sure it matches up perfectly as I can get it with my line, which I think that's pretty close. Like I said, you're doing these by hand, so they're not going to be perfect, but you want to get them as close as you can. And, because I remember now, make it so I can go a little farther. Alright, we got my first altitude here. Alright, this is my first altitude in green. Alright, so I drew one altitude. I'm going to draw a second altitude, and I'm going to use this left side. So just like before, I'm just going to move my line because I can and keep it a little quicker. That way you guys don't wait for me to finish this.
I mean, that probably took just as long to draw the line with the ruler.
Probably, but it made me feel better. It made me feel like I was being speedy. Alright, so I extended out this left side with my ruler, and this is why we extended out longer. So let me match my ruler up nice. Down a little bit. Oh, I am getting better with this ruler. I wasn't very good the first time I did this.
No, you really weren't.
Thanks, Chloe.
I was just agreeing with the statement.
Yeah. I guess.
Was I not though?
It's okay if I make fun of myself. You make fun of me. It helps me. I'm gonna remember that when we record it in 2 weeks.
Oh.
All right.
That's one
So-
game I don't play.
Okay. So I've got my ruler lined up pretty good. So I need to keep my ruler like this. And I need to go to the opposite corner. Remember, my opposite corner is over here. Because I'm on the left side, which means my opposite corner is on the right side. If I keep my ruler inside my triangle, so my ruler is just inside my triangle, do I ever reach that opposite corner?
No.
No. So I have to go all the way out here to get to that side. I gotta go all the way out about, and then I gotta draw my line. And as you do these, you might have to kind of move your ruler and just draw your line longer. So now I have to draw this really big altitude because my lines meet way out here. So let me get my stuff out of the way.
What the
Mm-hmm. This is why the orthocenter is so weird. Because if you have an obtuse triangle, they're way out there sometimes. So my orthocenter, it's not anywhere close. It is way out here. It is right there. So that's why we extend out the sides of our triangle. Because sometimes our ruler has to go outside to make the 90-degree angle.
I'm so confused.
So we'll keep doing these, don't worry.
What?
This is the most confusing one.
Okay, this hurts my head.
We're going to keep practicing, don't
What
worry.
if I broke this?
You told me a new one, and I'd probably give you a referral because you just messed
How'd you get that one?
Alright, and then if I'm going to make the XY coordinate, it is at 1, 2, 3, 4, -2.
Wait, how did you get the bottom one? Again.
I extended out this, and then I matched up my ruler with my side and my angle. This is where they match up. And then, because after I did this,
Wait, what a second. Wait.
Oh wait.
Oh.
Oh.
see what you did?
Wait,
No, this ain't working.
We'll keep doing these.
I
Don't
thought I
worry.
had
No,
This is all we're doing today,
Idea
because
was-
orthocenters are kind of annoying.
I'm just confused how it goes.
So we'll keep practicing, don't worry. We'll keep practicing.
We will keep practicing.
That's what I said.
Just keep it like that for a second.
Yeah.
I'm trying to.
Pretty good. And like I said, these are just estimates. They're not going to be perfect, so don't worry about it if yours is off.
Mr. Bulky, I really need to go. So do I. Like, I'm about to pee my pants.
Alright.
I thought I could hold it.
We'll
but I
be
can't.
hurry. We'll hurry.
Right now?
We'll hurry and get this done. You can take a tardy if you want to know.
No. Hurry up.
Alright, let's find the orthocenter on this left triangle. So, I'm going to extend out a couple of sides. So, you know what? Let me just get this one right here. There. So let me get this line right here. I'm going to extend out my sides a little bit. See what you did, Tyler? Well, let's
You
keep
always have to
practicing.
extend your sides out.
Yes, it's really annoying.
Like, on every single one?
On the orthocenter. Every time you find orthocenter, yes, extend your sides, just to be safe.
Like, how much? Like, a lot?
Like, this is enough, so,
Okay.
yeah, about, like, halfway and halfway. So, like, half of this is about right here, half of this is in there. That makes sense. And then, just like before, shrink my ruler down so I can actually use it. Put your ruler and match it up with that line you drew. And about, yeah, about right there for me. Remember, these aren't going to be perfect, so don't worry about it.
I'm worried.
Just get them close.
I'm worried.
And then, after you do that, you draw your altitude. So line up your ruler, make sure your corner of your ruler, the short side, is lined up with the line you drew. And then move it over it until your side of your ruler matches up with the corner. And then draw that line, and that is your altitude. It's a 90-degree angle there.
Oops.
And then you repeat the process for another one. So, you know what? Just so I can keep the lines up there, I'll make another one. Look at that. Alright, so I extended out the side of my triangle there. So let me get this ruler going.
You extend the lines on all of them? All the sides?
Well, you only have to do it on two of them.
Okay.
You only have to do two sides. Because
Does
if
it
you
matter
find
which two?
if you find where two, no, pick whatever ones you want.
Okay.
So I picked the left side and the top side on this triangle that I'm working on right now.
So now
There.
what are you doing?
So I'm finding the orthocenter on this one. So far I found an altitude. This green one is an altitude from this left red one. So I extended out this one on the left side in red, and then I went through. Now I'm working on the top one. I'm working on this top side. I extended that out, and I'm gonna match it up as much as I can.
This would be better with a clear road.
Yeah, but we don't have any. I used to have some, but then all the other class broke them. And the people before you.
And people before you.
Yeah, it was really annoying.
Well, I remember this. They
The
kept
clear
on
ones?
doing the.
Yeah, don't do that, Tyler. That's why we have the bad brown non-see-through rulers. Alright, so my altitudes match up for my orthocenter right here, and I'm just going to kind of estimate this as, let's see, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -8, -9, -10, -11. I'm going to say -12. It's not quite at -12, but I'm just going to round it, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm rank 5. Because it's really close to that point, so I'm just going to kind of assume it's there. If it's in the middle, just assume it's at a 0.5. Alright, do you guys want to do one as an in-class problem, or do you want to practice one together?
In class.
In class? Alright, on the bottom right triangle, find the orthocenter. And then we'll have some people work on it together on the board. So find your orthocenter on the bottom right triangle.
This hurts my head. Wait, which side did you match up to get the top one?
What do you mean?
Wait, which one were we
I
doing?
confused myself.
Bottom right one.
Something bad.
What?
There's too many lines on this small
Yeah,
piece.
on these, if you can, it's kind of nice to erase your extra lines, because these get really
I
crowded.
don't have a pencil.
That sucks.
Well, I can't do so.
Your best. Yeah.
I didn't know what the middle
It's
is.
kind of hard to keep track of all your lines. Do your best.
Is this video?
Or do you mean like in general?
Yeah, I think we
I just wanted to send that.
Hurry, you almost gotta let people go. It's a lot of lines.
Well, I can't read them.
Sorry, I don't have extra papers.
I'm after Chloe because I asked after Chloe.
You're done, Nick. Go draw one altitude on that one.
Oh, Nick, do you understand this? Yeah.
Chloe, do you have a pencil?
No, my locker.
I can't keep track anymore. You guys are gonna have to figure it out.
How do you work this contraption?
It was like Chloe and Lark, Christiana, and I don't know. This right?
No, it was me, T, Lark, Kevin.
Move this.
And then Nick.
Okay.
Oh, well, then makes Nick
Take
Kevin.
this line out.
No, mix Lark.
Is it 12.55? Okay, yeah.
And then we extended this line out.
Power on the oven.
And that's your altitude, so they meet right there.
Oh, this is
Right?
hard.
not on.
It's not off.
Here.
Oh, just go up and do it on the board. It's way easier. This is gonna take forever if you don't. And you can just kind of draw by hand. You don't have to worry about the ruler or anything unless you want to, I guess. If you're feeling adventurous. We don't have any.
That's why we need to calibrate it. Told you, Golgi.
Keep messing with my projector and it's fine.
I don't mess with your projector.
Some people do. Caleb.
Chloe.
Alright, so Mick extended out his line, and then he's just going to kind of estimate where it is. Chloe, you're doing the next one, because you're complaining.
No, I wasn't.
You were a little bit.
No.
Earlier. Well, then you're doing the next one because I picked you. Make sure you're ready. And just kind of estimate where it is. Alex, good enough, Mick. Good enough. Alright, Chloe, you're doing the next one.
Next line or the next?
The next line.
What the heck?
Give you a different color though. You can have blue.
Can't do this.
I believe in you, Chloe.
Whoa. Oh, heck of streamers.
It was like that
Whoa.
when
This is why we can't have nice things.
and then like this and then just go.
What are you doing? That's not perpendicular.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
not an idea.
care. You
Alright,
told me to do
bring
what I did.
your ruler up there. And use your ruler. Yeah.
Yes, I did it. It's
No,
done.
that's not an altitude. That's not good enough. Bring your own ruler up there and do it. Actually, it should be easier on the big screen. You just kind of have to keep moving there. No, just draw where it should be. Don't erase it.
I don't know where it's supposed to be. That's where I thought it was supposed to be. Where is it supposed to be at?
Okay, so put your ruler so the short edge matches up with that first blue line you drew.
It's on the eraser though.
Yeah.
Oh my god. This is so dumb.
Alright. So does that edge match up with your first blue line?
Yeah.
And you kind of got to move your head out of the way now. No, like, so you can see the bottom of the triangle. Okay, now move your ruler so that way the corner of your ruler matches up with the corner right there. Yeah, that looks closer. That looks better. Not perfect, but better. And then put a dot with a go across. Nope, not there. The blue one and the green one. This right here, right there.
Oh. They both crossed right here too.
Those are the extended parts in your bad line. Alright, so your ortho center should be close to that. It's not going to be perfect, but it should be close-ish. So as long as it's about in there, good. Alright, guys, want to do another one? You're feeling good about this?
No.
Alright,
I do not want to.
then we got your exit ticket on the board.
Can I go?
Yeah, whoever's first, I don't care. Just go. Go side.
Oh, go ahead.
Work on your exit ticket if you haven't yet. I will turn on Socrative, and I'll put your homework on Google Classroom.
Bonus. Aren't I supposed to stand?
Google Classroom, not home. Google Classroom. Golky.
What?